So what was your nutrition plan for that morning before the race started?
Yeah. So that morning, woke up, coffee, bathroom, and then ate. I think I had electrolytes, G1M, and then I had a bagel, peanut butter and honey. I wanted to keep it light. I knew it was going to be a long day, but also didn't want to go in obviously hungry. So I kind of just did what I did all prep, just normal, ate to where I was satisfied and whatever that looked like that morning. And then from there, I just knew like it's an ultra. It's way different than anything I've done. I'll have time to stop and eat. But also, I think more than anything, it was like the day before. I just made sure I was super high, like on calories. Water intake was sufficient, if not more, and then electrolytes, like we were talking the night before. But that morning, it just pretty much stuck to what I've done for all my long runs, the whole prep, and it worked great. So nothing crazy.
Yeah, my strategy is kind of always the same. It's about 3 hours before the race starts. First I drink coffee.
Yep.
Almost before every big race. I never have any issue with this other than race days. I can't poop.
Yep.
So I drank like 2 cups of coffee. I couldn't go. It's probably just like nerves and jitters.
I was the opposite. My nerves and jitters was like, go to the bathroom again. Go again. And come out and Nick you still looked angry that you couldn't go.
Dude, I knew it was like, it's part of me knows it going into it.
Yep.
Like, I'm not going to be able to go until mile like 12.
Yep.
So couldn't go to the bathroom. So I had 3 hours before the race started, bagel, banana, peanut butter, honey.
Yep.
Eat that. And then I sipped on 2 scoops of G1M Sport leading into the race starting point.
Yep.
Topped off on carbohydrates, electrolytes, sipping on water. And that's like my routine that I know works. Yep. And I feel good.
Same.
Like you said, the days leading into an ultra matter the most. Topping off on carbohydrates to top off on muscle and liver glycogen. Water, obviously staying hydrated, but not water in the absence of electrolytes.
Yep.
I've made that mistake before where I've chugged water with no electrolytes. I flushed my electrolyte stores and I ended up cramping up a lot. So it's like topping off sodium, carbohydrates, being rested, being hydrated, going in injury-free if possible. Because you know your body is about to endure some discomfort, but also pain, injury, stuff like that. So, that was my nutrition strategy. And you find out what works for you. Some people are different, but you just find out over time your best strategy. Now, going into the actual race, what was your nutrition strategy on course?
Yeah, and just to kind of preface, like I knew you have to know going in, like it's going to change. Like we had talked about this a lot. You can have a plan with ultras, but 5 hours in, your body's going to start to say, nope, we want this. And you kind of got to put those puzzle pieces together of what is my body rejecting? What does it want? Because it's funny too, because you may crave something, but then you eat it and it's like your stomach says, no, I don't want that. But like you're craving it because it's salty or sweet. But going in, I did have a plan. Ours probably looked very similar because I'd talked to you a lot like, hey, what are you doing? What'd you do at Leadville? I was trying to remember. But so I had a vest on, Solomon vest, had a bottle in each pocket, and then always had, stuff in pockets and stuff. And so mine looked like I did a scoop of G1M in each bottle and a scoop of electrolytes starting out. So that's 25 grams of carbs. The electrolytes have 500 milligrams of sodium, and then G1M is 350 per scoop.
350 milligrams per scoop of sodium.
So, I mean, I was looking at 850 milligrams of sodium, 25 grams of carbs right there. And then I had Spring Energy goos. They're not really goos because they're real food, but they look like a goo. And so essentially I would do one of the bottles and then a goo every hour. So, and I say every hour, but I would start to sip on that and then eat the goo around like 45 minutes. So I would, instead of trying to jam it in right on the hour every hour, which I used to do on my long runs, just, scarf it down, eat the goo on the hour. I realized like give myself 10 to 15 minutes to kind of drink that bottle, eat the goo. The goo, you pound pretty quick. So you don't want to run with it. And that's what it looked like. And man, my stomach held up great, which is shocking because I thought I was really gonna struggle with it. And I used G1M Sport all through prep. I used our electrolytes all through prep. So it was nothing new. I knew my stomach would handle it. I was just scared for how long. And that's when it was going to get complex for me because I've never been in that position before. I've never had to say my stomach is dejecting this or rejecting this. I've used G1M all prep. I don't know what else I want. Like, I guess peanut butter and jelly or, whatever. And so, yeah, did a scoop of that or a bottle of that goo every hour. And then on the course, you had aid stations every 5 miles, I believe. So it was looking at like about an hour for me. So I had my crew, our team, meet me at the 10-mile mark and the 20-mile mark, so twice. And at the 10 and 20, which was a couple hours in, I would do like a solid food. I would try to get like a Lara bar in or a peanut butter and jelly. And to be honest, I didn't eat a ton of whole food. I think I only had like 2 peanut butter and jellies the whole time. And I had like a couple Lara bars, but man, yeah. So I stayed really dialed into that scoop of G1M Sport, scoop of electrolytes, and a goo every hour. And I did that for 11 hours. And on the last hour, that last 5 miles, this is when I never knew how real that would feel when your body says, I don't want that. And I went to take a drink. I would like reach down to take a drink out of that bottle. And my body was like, absolutely not. You're done. And so I was like, for the last like hour or 50 minutes, I didn't have anything because I was like, I can't at this point. I'm not going to like take the chance of trying to eat something just to get calories in when I have an hour left. Like I can push through this. So dude, one testament to that product, like to take on, what is that? 10, 11 scoops of that in, 11 hours. Like that was amazing. My stomach held up great. So I wish I had a more complex answer, but I'm also really happy I don't because my stomach just held up awesome and stuck to that 2 scoops and a goo every hour on the hour, and then got some solid food in at the big aid stations, 10 and 20 miles. So, and it went great. I'm super happy with it.
I think it's one of the biggest mistakes people can make is they don't train with a fuel source they're going to be using on race day.
Yep.
So, obviously we both use G1M Sport, our electrolytes, fuel bars during training, use that race day as well. So that's like the first thing I want to put out there is you have to train on the nutrition source you're going to use for race day.
And actually, to piggyback off that real quick, my crew actually missed me at one of the big aid stations. I came through a little quicker and we kind of miscalculated. They were in the parking lot, but they didn't see me. And I had the option to, they had a different brand, a different type of liquid carbs, and a, huge, big pitcher. And I was like, I know I need it, but I made a decision. I was like, I can't do that. Like I haven't trained with it at this point. To me, it'll be more detrimental if I drink this and it hurts my stomach than to get a little extra energy. So I think I ate like pretzels and just filled up waters instead of doing like their carb source. And it may have been a great carb source. Awesome. But I never trained with it. And I remember that like we've talked about that a lot. You've instilled that a lot in me is like, you need to use what you train with. And so I was like, I can't risk this right now. My stomach's going really well. So I just moved on with just water. So just kind of a real life example that sometimes things don't go as planned in the ultra and you have to, then it gets real of, do I use something I've never used before? And I took that like very seriously. Moved on, got water, and that was it.
Yeah. I mean, with an ultra, you have to be prepared to have a plan.
Yep.
But also be prepared to pivot from that plan when you have to.
Yeah.
And every race is different, right? Like, so my nutrition strategy on Ironman as opposed to Leadville, as opposed to Rocky, completely different because you don't know where your stomach's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I started with 2 scoops of G1M Sport and a scoop of electrolytes in each bottle on my Solomon vest. And then I had spring energy gels and fuel bars in my vest as well.
Yeah.
And my plan was to use that for, the first 60 miles or so and just, kind of adjust based off that. At mile 20, when I saw the crew, I had a peanut butter and banana sandwich.
Nice.
That was delicious.
Oh, with the banana instead of jelly.
Ooh, it was good.
Respect.
And then on the course, I would occasionally grab some more bananas and orange slices.
Okay.
I was just craving like fruit.
Yep.
I've been in a huge fruit kick lately. And I was craving some fruit. And then at mile 40, when I came back and saw the crew, they were eating Chick-fil-A. And my mind was just like, I'm craving a Chick-fil-A sandwich right now. So I ate a Chick-fil-A sandwich. That felt really good. You know, the battle with an ultra is you're trying to consume enough calories to fuel you so you don't bonk during that race.
Yeah.
But not over consume so you get sick. So it's this game, it's this puzzle you're playing.
Yep.
Came in at mile 60 then, and mile 60 for some reason I just wasn't feeling the hottest. And I think part of it was like mentally, because that 20-mile loop kind of just messed me up. Like going 50 miles out and 50 back, I actually preferred. But when I got to mile 60, I was like, man, I got two more loops.
I thought about you during that because that third loop, I was like, I could imagine doing two more. At this point, I don't know if monotonous is like the right word, but it was just like, I just don't want to do the same route. I could imagine doing the same route two more times. And I was like, I wonder how Nick's feeling, because 3 was my limit. Knowing if I'd had to do 100 mile, I'd push through. But I was like, I'm really glad I only have to do 3 of this.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like during these ultras I've done, you get to a point where like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Fuck this. And you're like,
absolutely.
I'm over this loop, dude.
Yep.
So I got to mile 60, and at that point, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling like too hot. I was still moving really good. My ankle was hurting because I sprained my ankle, you know, at mile 15 pretty bad. And I met up with Clink and the crew, and they essentially put me in a tape boot.
Yep.
They put like a 1/4 inch of tape around my foot to hold it up. And at mile 60, I consumed, I think, 2 more peanut butter banana sandwiches, and I had another field bar, and they had some fruit there from Chick-fil-A as well, so I consumed some of that. Again, out in the course, I was still eating like peanut butter sandwiches they had out there, the bananas. I was just I knew I had to stay on top of nutrition. I started adding in some salt tabs as well.
Oh yeah, I did have some salt tabs along the way too, like urgency.
The only thing about the salt tabs is by Salt Stick, they go to your gut real quick, and you can feel it in there. And that's when I started having some digestive issues. It was probably like mile 70. And I could feel it when I was running. So I pulled back on G1M a little bit. I pulled back on electrolytes, which is tough because you know you need the electrolytes, but the sodium is starting to stir your stomach up a little bit.
Yep.
So at that point, I made the decision, okay, I need to switch to more solids. So I was trying to get more solid foods in, more bars, more fruit, more things on course. And mile 70, I had to beeline to the porta potty, and I started getting diarrhea. And I kind of had like diarrhea off and on the rest of the race. Came back in at mile 80 to see the crew, and they had Papa John's pizza. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. Had 3 slices of Papa John's. I knew at that point I just needed solids in my stomach. You keep consuming gels and liquid carbs and bars over this much time, it's going to tear your stomach up, right? So I knew I had to switch to solid foods. Pizza, again, out in the course, more fruit, more sandwiches. At one point, some guy handed me a quesadilla. I ate the quesadilla out there. That was delicious. And then, finishing up the race, I felt solid. Hey guys, thanks for checking out the video. And if you enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future releases. And if you want to watch the full episode, go right here and click on the video to my left.